All right, so here's the second part to my Canadian whiskey review, and there'll be a total of 10 Canadian whiskeys, and after that you're on your own, my friends. So I got this Wiser's. This is known as a kind of a standard Canadian whiskey in Canada. I was pretty disappointed by it. I think out of the 10, it was the most disappointing. And I thought it was very hot on the nose, and it was very hot on the palate. However, it probably, since it's in about the $9-10 range, would be a good mixing whiskey, mixed with ginger ale or Coke. The VO Gold 8-year, nice whiskey. Reminds me a lot of Irish whiskey. So if you're an Irish whiskey drinker, this is probably your jam here, you know. It would be really excellent with dry ginger ale. I want to also preface all this again that these were all tasted in a glass with 2 ice cubes. I let them water down just a little bit, and that was the way to go to really taste them. So for some people, they're just mixers. This was an interesting one. Canadian Club Reserve, aged 9 years. Legally in Canada, 3 is the minimum. This is triple aged. It's also what I consider, it's the bourbon drinkers, a bourbon drinker's Canadian whiskey. Definitely has more rye in it than many of them, and it is aged in used American oak barrels. Has a lot of flavor. I think, again, bourbon drinkers whiskey. This whiskey, the Canadian Club 100% rye, this was my favorite of all the 4, and other than the R&R Reserve, which has been my favorite through all of them, including my favorite over the Crown Royal, this one comes in a close second. And what's interesting is it won a lot of awards. It was the Sipping Whiskey of the Year back in like 2006, 2015. But when you look online, it's just panned like crazy. I don't know why. It's aged in 3 different types of barrels. Bourbon barrels, used Canadian whiskey barrels, and also uncharred oak barrels. I really liked it. I really think it's wonderful. So there you go. That's your next review. That's your final review. The Canadians, they drink a lot of these whiskeys. They mix them with a real dry ginger ale. The ones that have a lot more sherry barrel flavor on them tend to go better with Coca-Cola. I just can't do that to whiskey. You know, if I'm going to mix, it's going to be some other type of alcohol. I think whiskey is for sipping. I really enjoy having a nice whiskey after dinner, a couple ice cubes, helps you digest your meal. And that's it. There you go. I hope all of this was useful. This has been Dan, the Trailer Trash Man.